Yo, what's up, everybody? Super Ninja Austin back here later in the evening. And man, let me tell you, this was the best NXT Halloween Havoc they have ever made in years. From the past, I'll say 3 years of making it as an NXT exclusive event around this time of the year. And it had some interest, it got some excitement, shock, and unexpected, amazing moments. And we're going to start that here right now in the special edition of NXT Halloween Havoc, which is the SNA podcast, episode 85. 85 part NXT part 11. Let's begin. We're going to start off with Roxanne Perez taking on Kiana James to start out in the ringside, and they started brawling all over the ringside area. They eventually brought it back in the ring, but they eventually went back out with Kiana James trying to go for a springboard power driver between the inside ring and the side of the right side of the apron. But Roxanne Perez flips him over. And I believe that's a signature move that MJF made. And then also Roxanne Perez got back in the ring. This is where she'd go for a suicide dive right on to Kiana James. But Kiana James caught her in midair, tried to go for a Death Valley driver, which is known as the most dominating move in all sports entertainment. But Roxanne Perez rolled out of it, going for the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. This is where Kiana James got back of a hold of Roxanne into her grasp, tried to hit her face first, right into Simba the steel steps, but Roxanne Perez put her feet there to stop her. Hits Kiana James with a striking right hand. This is where Roxanne Perez go for a sunset flip powerbomb right off the Simba the steel steps, but only got a near fall of 2.8 seconds. This is where Kiana James counters and tried go for a back suplex, but through the concrete floor in the ringside area in the left side, of course. This is where Roxanne Perez instantly reversed out of it, doing a backflip in the process. This is where she did like a back and gut maneuver and rolled her up into the surprise roll up, try to get the 3 count. But Kiana James flips out of it. This is another near fall. And then that's where they get to the Devil's Playground with a swing and a slide. And then this is where Roxanne Perez hits the swing right onto to Kiana James. Vic Joseph was reminding him that this is a no DQ match, so both of these women can do basically whatever they want into this bout. So that's what Roxanne Perez started doing that for her advantage, of course. This is where she goes for a suplex try to go for a suplex right through the slides, but Kiana James easily countered into the suplex, turned her around. It's right after she started hitting, or not turning her around, he hit her with a right hand right to the midsection. Goes for a suplex right on the opposite direction, right to the concrete floor. Something that she was trying to do with the back suplex, but she successfully execute the frontward suplex. This is where Kiana James looking into her purse and then try to get the heaviest object she could find in there. This is where she picked up her laptop, which was probably the only heaviest and the hardest and brutalest object that she could find in her purse. So she used it as a weapon, slamming it into Roxanne's back, like with it unflipped and flat, and slammed it right onto her back like if it's a steel chair. This is where she started boasting to the crowd. The crowd did not like that. Boom! He's like, "Look what I just did to your prodigy hero." And then this is where fans started going like, "Boo!" And she's like, "Yeah, I am the future of NXT now." But anyways, we're gonna move on to what else happened next. This is where she rammed her right to Rita the ring post, shoulder first, and she started repeatedly doing so by pulling her shoulder and hitting it right across the the second hardest part of the ring, I'll say, or the hardest part of the ringside area. That's what it was. Where she started doing it a couple more times until she tried to go for it one more time, but Roxanne Perez put her foot there right on time, stopping her. She grabbed her arm and hit that in her shoulder first, right into the ring post, giving her a few tastes. Give her a few tastes of her medicine, including hitting her face right into the steel ring post as well. This is where Roxanne Perez was slowly but surely crawling away from the scene. This is where Roxanne Perez finally gets back up, trying to run up right to Kiana James, but too late for doing anything to the first ever NXT businesswoman, because she hits her right into the midsection with the trash can. This is where Kiana James picks up the trash can again, but she tried to hit her the second time, but I think she wasn't too lucky enough to strike her, because Roxanne Perez grabbed onto the swing set and used it like a sliding bar, I should say, like on the action movie, and hit her with a double missile drop kick, a double single frontward missile drop kick, and then this is where Roxanne Perez gets back up. This is where she hits her with a running, striking uppercut right onto Kiana's face. Roxanne Perez was back in her game. This is where she rolls back in the ring, starts slapping onto the canvas. This is where she runs right onto the ropes, try to go for a suicide dive, which she successfully did so this time. Like the statistic, like it didn't work the first time, so it's going to work the second time. And then that was the case of the Prodigy. This is where she grabbed the board off the. This is where she grabbed the fence, a boarded fence, like a piece of a boarded fence, off the fence that was by the playground, the Devil's Playground, of course. This is where, because that's what the stipulation was for this match. This is where Roxanne Perez grabbed it, starts swinging it and start hitting it right into the midsection of Kiana James, and then she slammed it down right into Kiana James's back afterwards. She hit it right in her midsection, and she was like, which the fence snapped. This is where Roxanne Perez picked her back up. This is where she goes for a side Russian leg sweep right onto the slide, which she successfully hit her right onto the slide. Like finally, because her first attempt she countered, but she wasn't countered this time because she was lucky enough to get the second attempt successful. This is where she pins Kiana James, but she only got a 2.7 count. This is where what else do you have? This is where Roxanne Perez tried to get some revenge on Kiana James, also trying to hit her with the trash can, but she gets shoved right into the midsection by the first ever NXT businesswoman. This is where she throws Roxanne Perez right into Barry Barricade, but Roxanne Perez managed to elbow her right into the midsection. This is where Roxanne Perez try to go up right on top of the formerly known as Barry Barricade, and try to go for a flying Hurricane Rana off the barricade, but Kiana James picks her up and caught her, and this is where she did a power bomb slam right through the exact same barricade that she landed on, and then hit her with a buckle bomb right through the concrete floor with the trash can on top. I should say right through the trash can, of course. Hit her with a power bomb right through the trash can. She pins Roxanne Perez, but the referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2, but Roxanne Perez kicks out of 2.9 seconds. And then this is where Kiana James is like, "You got to be kidding me." And then this is where she started hitting her with the tater totter. Like, first she hit her right into the midsection, slam it right into her back. This is where she tried to choke the tater totter right onto Roxanne Perez's neck, and then this is where the referee asked, like, "Do you want to surrender? Do you surrender, Roxanne?" Roxanne was like, "No, I don't." And then this is where she got out of it. This is where she tried to crush her neck. This is where Kiana James tried to crush Roxanne's neck right onto the ring post, but she but she got out of the way on time. Luckily, this is where Roxanne Perez hits the roundhouse kick right onto the midsection of Kiana James. She tried to go for her finishing move, the code red, I believe that's what it's called. But like that old statistic said, like she didn't got it the first time, but she will. Spoil alert, by the way. But we're going to talk about that in just one moment because after she tried to attempt to do the move, she got countered by Kiana James. Hits her midsection first, right onto the barricade. This is where she threw her right on the. This is where she throws her over the barricade. This is where Kiana James starts kneeing her right onto her midsection, started to stomp on her in the process. This is where Kiana James picks up Roxanne Perez, anything that was left of the Prodigy. Try to go for a suplex right off the top. Right off the top of the barricade and on the top left corner of the ringside area. Roxanne Perez started elbowing Kiana James. This is where she did an elbow right towards her. This is where she hits another elbow after Kiana James hits a right. This is where Roxanne Perez started continuing to do so. And then that fans are like, hooray, hooray. And this is where she tried to go for a side Russian leg sweep to Kiana James. But Kiana James slide out of it. And she fell on her own. This is where she's still standing on her feet. This is where Kiana James tried to go for a moonsault off the barricade to Roxanne Perez, but she missed. She also did a perfect stand right from jumping off of the barricade. This is where I think her leg gave out. That's why she grabbed onto Kiana James's back, whacked it right onto her face like Shotzi just did like a week ago. And this is where Roxanne Perez hit her finishing move, the code red. It successfully executed the second time, because she didn't succeed. She didn't succeed the first time, so it was a guarantee that she was going to succeed this time. Hits the code red. She got the 1, 2, 3, and she's the winner, like we all predicted. Or I'll say at least most of us, but I'll say all of us predicted because she's still white hot right now, like I said earlier on my SNA podcast video, my news video. And then there's no way that they're going to have her lose into this momentous occasion. And we're gonna see what's next for the former NXT Women's Champion. Is she gonna get another opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship? Either it could be Becky Lynch or Lyra Valkyria, or do you think she's going to get called up to the main roster? Y'all let me know in the comment section right down below. And then this is where she revealed what was in Kiana James's bag, and there was nothing but broken brick pieces because her and Kiana James landed right on it. But when she hit her the code red, that's what helped knock her out. Of course. This is where she did so, and then and she was the victory in this match. Let's move on to the next. This is where we get a sit-down interview. This is where we seen a sit-down interview with Vic Joseph with Carmelo Hayes about his match against Ilya Dragunov at Halloween. He said it's for the NXT Championship. Dragunov versus Hayes. Hayes 3. Like rubber match of y'all rivalry. What do you have differently now that you're now you're the challenger for this match? And this is what Carmelo Hayes. Okay, let's break this down. How do you beat one of the best in the world of Ilya Dragunov? Like, don't answer, Vic. Like, that's the question I always ask myself. That I need to ask myself. And it's not a mental thing. It's not an emotional question either. It's why. What exactly? Why? What is my motivation of becoming the 8 champion again? Like, it's me for the NXT title. Like, and it's not just the NXT title. It's not for it's for the title of him. And he's like, and Vic, how come I can walk here and claim to be him if with no championship on my shoulders to show for? All my hard work that I've built, all for what? All to be second best? He's like, and my motivation is stronger than ever. And then I move all distractions that's on my way. And there's no what ifs, there's no doubts, and there's no The trick, there's no asterisk. And then this is where Vic Joseph interrupts, like, wait, whoa. He was probably like the rest of the fans right now, like he just referenced his best buddy of the Trick and Mello game, Trick Williams. And he's like, wow, you just said your friend's name, Trick Williams. And also, if you want to play what if, like, what if he was, he's like, what if he was in the way? What if he was in the match? What if he was in, would you be the one that would be the number one contender in tonight of Halloween Havoc? And the Carmelo Hayes was like, took off his shades. He looking towards Vic Joseph. He's like, absolutely. Vic, when push comes to shove, I gotta do what I gotta do. And he's like, this one's for you, my bro, Trick. Like, justice for you. I was like, there's something fishy about Carmelo Hayes' promo, and I think I have an awful suspicion on who could it possibly be. But we're gonna probably see that be revealed, like probably in less than 7 nights from now, if not less than 14 nights. But we're gonna have to see in the upcoming future what's next onto this storyline. But we're going to move on to the – and he's like, we're done here. And he's like, but I got some more things to talk about. But he's like, no, we're done here. But, yeah, this is where up next we get the debut of – we got the debut of Alexis King. Yeah, Lexus King, that's what his name is. The former Brian Pillman Jr. Taking on – Dante Chan, that's what his name is. He took on Dante Chan tonight, and then this is what exactly happened right here. This is where he Irish whipped Dante Chan right to the bottom left corner of the Tina turnbuckle. This is where Dante Chan started trying to fight back, striking him with right strikes. And I was like, it's gonna be a guaranteed Brian Pillman Jr., the former Brian Pillman Jr., aka Alexis King, is gonna win this match because Dante Chan tried to run right to the left side of the ropes. Lexus King hits a knee right to Dante Chan's midsection, hits a roundhouse kick on his right leg, striking Dante Chan's back, hits a attack clothesline right onto him. Dante Chan was on the ground. Lexus King gets Chan back up. And it's before he could do anything, he dropped him back down. He started gloating to the fans. He's like, I'm finally here and making a name for myself and not be a failure like I was before. And this is where I stopped. And he's like, he sneezed him right into the head. And I was like, it's because he's not using his father's name. And then this is probably gonna be some kind of a heel gimmick, by the way. But he said he gonna be like the guy who actually raised him, which is his stepfather, which his last name's King, of course. But that's just a gimmick about talking trash on his father when he actually would pay homage to him in reality. But this is where Alexis King hits a headlock right on the Dante Chan. This is where Dante Chan was trying to squeeze and shake out of it. This is where he elbow strike Alexis King and then sent him with a right hand to the gut. This is where Alexis King tried to hit him with a strike, but Dante Chan blocked it, hit him with another strike, and he started repeatedly doing that like 2 times in a row, bringing down the second generation superstar. He got back up. He Irish whipped him right to the left side of the corner, what's his name? But Alexis King counters, Irish whipped him in the left side, get intercepted by Dante Chan with a flying clothesline. Chan hits a gut buster right onto King. This is where he hits a pump kick while running up to the top corner of the ropes in the ring. This is where Dante Chan was getting more pumped up, trying to go for his finisher move with his hand maneuver like this, like if he was NXT's new Shinsuke Nakamura. This is where he got too distracted, did a to the point that he lost his focus, and then that's when what's name came in, hit a super kick. What's his name? Alexis King. This is where he picks him up. This is where he goes. This is where he hits his finishing move, which is this is where he goes for the go for this vintage draping spike DDT, like if he's Randy Orton. But he did spin Dante Chen around like if he was a hot dog or what to call it, or an egg roll, like spin him around like if he was a spinning egg roll, like a human egg roll, I should say. He spinned him around into the spinning neck breaker, and then he got the 1, 2, 3, and then it looks like so far so good. He remains undefeated in his WWE run, even though his first 2 matches being house shows. But if they keep this up, maybe he could be the next #1 contender for the NXT Championship before the year is up. Like if they keep this up, like I'm not sure about over the limit, but maybe like before it's even New Year's, like or even at New Year's Evil at the beginning of 2024. But only time will tell what's going to happen for the second generation superstar. And do you think he's much better than he was as Brian Pillman Jr. in AEW as the Varsity Blondes, or do you think or you think he's not better at that time? Y'all let me know in the comment section right down below. We're going to move on to the backstage now with Chase U getting ready for their tag team match. Team Chase U to get ready to their tag match against the Tony D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. This is where JC Jane asks, like, why are you getting training now? Like, didn't you already did this earlier? Like, well, we got to us Chase you guys have to we have to get double like if we're getting if we have a championship opportunity like this, we always get double prepared because tonight at Halloween Havoc Night 1, the tag team belts will be ours. And then this is where JC Jane was like, as long as there's no any howls, like, but don't worry, Mr. Chase, you got it'll be different this time than your last time you champ. And this is where Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo's like, Chase, like, nice to see you again, man. Like, and then this is where Stacks was like, yeah, he's in much better condition than is he, right? Like, and then this is where Andre Chase responded, like, saying, let's see, he's like, thank you very much. Like yeah, like I have to do everything I can to become the next NXT Tag Team Championship. This is where Tony D'Angelo was like, yeah, keep wishing that. Like, and we'll see you out there in the ring. They walked out, and then this is where Duke Hudson asked, like, what is he talking about right there? And then this is where Andre Chase like, don't worry about that. Like you should we should be focusing on those tag team championships tonight. And I was like I don't know if they're gonna win because Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo was doing really good with those championships, like being the fighting champions in the tag division that they are. Unfortunately, they didn't really have any no kind of feuds by being those tag team championships when they beat Gallus for it. That's the only team that they got into a feud with when they very first won the championships against the Gallus boys. But anyway, this is where we got the breakout tournament match now. It's Kalani Jordan taking on Ariana Grace. And then it seems like my prediction came true because when Ariana Grace said, kiss my hand to Kalani Jordan, she was not buying it. She was like, I'm ready, just fight you and get to the semifinals. And then this is where Ariana Grace knees Kalani Jordan right into the midsection. She tried to go for a striking right hand, but Kalani Jordan dodged it, and then she tried to go for a right hand, but Ariana Grace was saying, please, show mercy. And then this is where she tried to run up right towards and attack her, trying to make her pity be the distraction so she can hit her with whatever move she has in store for her. But this is where Kalani Jordan goes for a side sliding springboard maneuver. This is where she hits a missile drop kick. This is where Ariana Grace rolled out of the ring and said, like, no, give me 1 second. When she rolled out of the ring, said, I'm not ready to get back in the ring because there's something wrong with my nose. I was like, please don't act like the next Chelsea Green. Like, it's not for you. But anyways, this is where she finally got back in the ring. This is where what's also Ariana Grace tried to go for a suplex to Kalani Jordan, but she was not letting that happen. She suplexed her on her own. Irish whip. What's her name? Ariana Grace, but Ariana Grace counters when she ran right to the right side ropes and she hit her with a spinning neck breaker. This is where she pins Kalani Jordan, but she only got a 2.9 ooh. And then this is where they show everybody in the women's divisions in the women's division and some guys that were dressed up for Halloween, like for the Halloween spirit, like because a week from tonight is Halloween night, and they're trying to do something special for this momentous occasion. Like I said before, like I described Halloween. This is where Ariana Grace still had a headlock right onto Kalani Jordan, but Kalani Jordan hits a striking right hand right onto to Ariana Grace. This is where she continued to hit. This is where she tried to snapmare Kalani Jordan, but Kalani Jordan got back up, hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, which is the surprise roll up. But she only got a 2 even count. This is where Ariana Grace tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where she tried to pin. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle, for a second. Thank you. But anyways, this is when Kalani Jordan rolls out right into the apron. This is where she I go with a springboard sunset flip. She said we did so to the Ariana Grace, but you only got one. You only got a 2, but you kicked out at 2.7 seconds. Pardon me, but my nephew gave me a cookie. But anyway, this is where Kalani Jordan got back on her feet. This is where she got tripped over by Ariana Grace. So I go for a pin, but the referee count to 2. See, Kalani Jordan picks her right off her both of them off the ground, and at 2.2 seconds. This is where Kalani hits a backslide right onto Ariana Grace. But she only got 1, she only got 2 in the ooh. And this is where Ariana Grace kicks Kalani Jordan right in the midsection. Like, she Irish whips her right to the bottom left corner. But when she tried to hit her with an elbow striking maneuver, but Kalani Jordan moved out of the way, run right into the right side ropes, hits her with a striking clothesline. And this is where she hits a running double axe handle. This is where she hits a cartwheel Pele kick. And also hit a kip up. This is what made Boogie T was like, oh, here we go. Making him more excited of the night, more excited than a homeless man in a hurricane. This is where Kalani Jordan hits a somersault leg drop right onto Ariana. And then this is where she tried to pin her, but she only got 1. She only got 2, but she kicks out at 2.5 seconds. But this is where she tried to go for a suplex to Ariana Grace, but Ariana Grace counters, hits a neck twisting a sideways guillotine choke. This is where she Irish whips Kalani Jordan right to the right side onto the ropes. This is where she tried to take advantage and throw her right to the ropes, like neck and face first, and then this is where she tried to pin her. She only got one, she only got two, but she kicks out at 2.999 seconds. And where Irish whips Kalani Jordan face first right into the bottom right corner of Tina's turnbuckle, on the top turnbuckle. This is where she put her onto the top rope, trying to go for a back suplex maneuver. But when she tried to do so, this is where Kalani Jordan started hitting elbows right into the back, right to the elbow, and she was trying to get back onto her feet. This is where she tried to take advantage. This is where Ariana Grace tried to grab onto Kalani Jordan's hair, back hanging on to her as support, so she won't be falling off the top rope, like hanging dear life off of. Kalani Jordan was screaming like, "No, let go!" And then she was like get out, get your hands off my hair, you witch. This is where she hits a split moonsault right off the top rope. When she got Ariana Grace out, hit her with the moonsault, pins, and then she pins Ariana Grace. She got the 1, 2, 3. And like I said, my prediction came true. She won the semifinals. And then next week at night 2's Halloween Havoc on Halloween night, she'll be facing either Carmen Petrovich. That's what her name is. Carmen Petrovich or Lola Vice. And who he thinks was going to win on tonight's semifinals along with Kalani Jordan. Watch it to the very end to see who exactly won. And let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, Kalani Jordan finally won. And let's move on. Here's where we got another vignette of earlier today with Robert Stone with the check-in on Von Wagner on how's he doing. Like, he was doing pretty all right. He's hardly recovering, but he's getting there. And then this is where Von Wagner was asking, like, why in the hell you're taking a match with Braun Breaker? Like, you see what he clearly did to me in my head, like cracking my head. He could imagine what he could possibly do to you in 7 days from now. And then this is where the wannabe Tony Khan said, he was like, "Well, I know what he did, but I got no regrets here. Like, and I have nothing to lose here. Because I cannot hardly wait to slap that smile off of Braun Breaker's face and." For what he did to you, and then now he's somewhere fishing while you're in rehab, like not sure if you're going to step back in the ring ever again. So I want to get revenge on you, Vaughn. Like, I know I'm going to get my ass kicked, but if I could get one punch, like one slap, he's like, to get that smirk off, they'll be all worth it to get my client the justice that he needs over Braun Breaker, like. And then this is, but yeah, like in this match, like who do you think's gonna win? Do you think we're gonna have a winner, or we're gonna have a no contest? And then when Braun Breaker come and try to do the same thing, what he did to Von Wagner, which he didn't learn from when he faced the likes of Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes, because they were well aware of that. And also, to Carmelo Hayes' case, John Cena was there to back him up to take the stairs away from Braun Breaker. But yeah, like, do you think he's going to do that? And then we're going to see a shocking return of Von Wagner? Only time will tell. That's my prediction, at least. And then, but yeah, we're gonna have to wait until 7 days from now to see what's next for the what's next in this storyline. But let's move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next match, which I believe was the Team Chase U against the Tony D'Angelo family. But this is where we got a segment of the two hosts back, with the two women hosts that's of Halloween, of NXT's special edition of the Halloween episode, Halloween Havoc episode, I should say, night one's episode of Halloween Havoc. This is where the Creed brothers were like the Los Lotharios is the reason why we don't have our opportunities tonight for the NXT Tag Team Championship, and we have enough of that excuse, I should say. Yeah, we have enough of this excuse why we're not into this title match. So we want to get our hands onto both Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. And this is where Shotzi was like, yeah, I seen exactly everything. Like, the referees may have not seen it, but I sure did. And I want to make this right and give y'all the justice that y'all need to be served. I mean, that needs to be served for y'all's behalf. So therefore, I'm gonna make that match happen with you guys spinning the wheel of spin the wheel of the Halloween Havoc stipulation. And then this is where they're like, no, we can't do it. Like, we'll have our girl Ivy do it. And this is where Ivy spin the wheel. It landed right onto tables, ladders, and scares match. I guess instead of like it being a typical TLC match, it's gonna be like a lot of horrifying weapons along with tables and ladders, like in this possibly a tornado tag team street fight match on Halloween night, of course, which I think it should open up the show, if not Dragon off against Nathan Fraser, which that's a match that's going to be on next week's show, which I called it. But, well, yeah, who do you think is going to win this match in stipulation? Y'all let me know in the comment section right down below. And what you thought of Scarlett and Shotzi hosting this week and next week's night one and night two Halloween Havoc special edition of NXT? Y'all let me know also about that in the comment section down below. This is where we got the tag team champs staring down at the Creed brothers, saying like, "Oh, it's a shame that y'all not the ones that's facing us tonight for the tag team. It would be very awesome to have some very tough competition like you two, but maybe next time when we retain tonight." And then this is where Tony Angelo and Stacks was telling the Creed brothers, rubbing the tag team championships into the faces of the former champs. But this is where we have the match with the Chase U taking on the D'Angelo family. And we're going to talk about what exactly went down at this NXT Tag Team Championship. I'll say we're going to this is where we had Andre Chase and Tony D'Angelo fighting. This is where Tony D'Angelo hits a flapjack right onto his side in his corner, the right side of the ropes, and with Channing Stacks Lorenzo hitting the step up instigiri right onto the face of Andre Chase, because he got tagged in prior to the flapjack from the dawn of NXT. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo gets into the ring. This is where he pins Andre Chase, but he only got one, he only got two, but he kicks out at 2.4 seconds. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo hits a gator roll kind of headlock, because he had it in this position into Andre Chase. He got it into like a guillotine kind of position until Andre Chase got up. This is where he tried to lift him up, try to go for a body drop, but Channing Stacks Lorenzo had it locked in to the point that he could have had that locked in until the end of the match, like by beating him by submission. But luckily, fortunately, and luckily for Andre Chase, none of that happened. However, he does get tossed by the one half of the NXT Tag Team Champion. That's where he rolls out of the ring. This is where he tried to grab on Andre Chase, but he struck him with a right hand. This is where Andre Chase crawls and try to try tagging his tag partner Duke Hudson. This is where Tony D'Angelo got tagged back in by his partner Channing Stacks Lorenzo. This is where he grabbed on Andre Chase's leg. He was stepping and kicking, hit him with a step up insecurity to kick him off of him. This is where he crawls right onto Duke Hudson. Finally tag him in with Tony D'Angelo tagging Stacks back in. This is where Duke Hudson started hitting the striking forearms like twice in a row. This is where he Irish whip him right to the left corner, hits a belly-to-belly suplex into a comeback move. And this is where he started cranking it up like if he had a camera rolling in it, like roll the film. Like, or no, not that. I would say perhaps like a fisherman, like with a fishing rod. Like they, okay, crank it back in. What's his name? Stacks Lorenzo. This is where he started hitting the Chase U version of Dusty Rhodes' punches, like boom, 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 like Chase U. And this is where, but also Tony D'Angelo trying to grab him, trying to hit strikes. But this is where Duke Hudson started hitting strikes. So he's like Chase U and hits an elbow strike right onto Tony D'Angelo. This is where he grabbed on to Channing Stacks Lorenzo, try to go for a clothesline. This is where Stacks ducks. He tried to run up to right to the left side ropes, try to go for a flying head scissors, but he gets power slam face first right onto his own partner Tony D'Angelo. This is where Thea Hale was celebrating like a psychotic gothic teenage cheerleader, saying like, "Come on, Dookie, come on! We need you to win those tag teams for Chase University." And this is where hit the sidewalk slam right onto to Channing Stacks Lorenzo. He only got a 2 count of a kick out. Thea Hale, Thea Hale was also continuing her psychotic cheer and chants for what's his name, Duke Hudson, and along with the other Chase U students that was in the audience. This is where Duke Hudson going for the Razor's Edge powerbomb, but this is where Channing roll out of it. This is where Duke Hudson tried to go for a attacking splash, but Duke Hudson smartly stopped him with his foot. He grabbed onto his leg, flips it back down, hits a striking uppercut. This is where, or not striking uppercut, a striking chop. Now that Gunther possibly put him as the number 1 recent list of his envy list. And it looks like one day he will pay a visit to NXT again and possibly murk him for stealing a signature move. But anyways, this is where he Irish whips Channing Stacks Lorenzo right to the bottom left corner. This is where he rolls right over it, like rolls right over Duke Hudson, try to run right up to the right corner ropes. This is right through there, and then this is where Duke Hudson tried to go for a clothesline, but Channing Stacks Lorenzo ducks. He ducks once again. We try to go for another one. This is where he gets picked off by Duke Hudson eventually and hits him with a spin out boss man slam right onto the middle of the canvas. This is where he pins him, but he only got a 1. He only got a 2, but he kicks out at 2.9999. I was like, wow, like, did he really just kick out of 2.999? This is where the Chase U tried to go for the frat planner, I believe that's what's called, the frat planner, with Duke Hudson going with the gory position while Chase U tried to go for his strike. But this is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo flips out of it. This is where he boots Duke Hudson right onto the face. This is where he hits a striking right on Andre Chase's face. This is where he tags back in Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo hits a clothesline to Andre Chase, hits a hits a clothesline to Duke Hudson too. This is where he back elbow strikes Andre Chase. This is where Duke Hudson tries to go for a clothesline, but he ducks. But Tony D'Angelo ducks. This is where he goes for a body drop, hits a double A spine buster to Andre Chase. This is where Tony D'Angelo was back on his game, tagging his partner Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and this is where they hit their German suplex / European spinning uppercut combo tag team finisher maneuver. This is where they did another one, except this time with Channing Stacks Lorenzo going to the mid ropes. This is where they pins Andre Chase, but Channing Stacks Lorenzo tried to pin Andre Chase, but the referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2, but Andre Chase kicks out at 2.999999999.0.1 seconds away from being 3. And then Thea Hale and what's her name? Thea Hale and JC Jane breathed a sigh of relief because they thought they were going to have a shocking heart attack out of nowhere with this devastating loss for Andre Chase. But fortunately for them, that was not going to happen. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo tags Tony D'Angelo backs into the match. This is where Tony D'Angelo picks up Andre Chase into an electric chair position. And then this is where Duke Hudson sneakily grabbed onto Channing Stacks Lorenzo's leg when he was on the top rope, but he scared him off. Stacks scared Duke Hudson off like after he got onto the apron. That was a perfect distraction for Chase U. This is where, because when he tried to go for a crossbody, which is the most comeback move in all sports entertainment, he got picked off by Duke Hudson. Got picked off by Duke Hudson with a big boot right into his face. This is where Andre Chase started hitting right hands, doing his right hand combo to Tony D'Angelo. Andre Chase in the ring, like boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Irish whip. Tony D'Angelo tried to go to the right side, the left side of the ring ropes, but Tony D'Angelo counters. This is where Andre Chase hits a counter of his own, twisting Angelo's arm back, and then hit him with a side Russian leg sweep. This is where he did his signature move, the Chase U spelling stomps. Like he was like, give me a C, C, give me a H, H, give me a A, give me a S, S, give me a E, E, give me a U, U. When he stopped, what's that spell? And the fans are saying Chase U after they spelled out the Chase U name, and including his students that was in the audience. This is where it goes right up in the top rope, which was at the bottom right corner, which that was the most idiotic decision that he could have ever made, because like what a person that's in the top left corner into the tag team match goes up to the top rope and to the bottom right corner usually does not work very well 9 times out of 10. Just saying, for Andre Chase's case, because that was actually the case from the professor to the professor of Chase U. This is where Tony D'Angelo picks off, because like I said, regardless, it's not going to work out pretty great and successfully if you're trying to go up on the top rope of that corner. This is where Tony D'Angelo goes for the top rope suplex, but luckily Duke Hudson was there to hang on to his tag partner's legs, his tag partner and teacher, I should say, his legs, which was the smartest move that Duke Hudson could have ever done. Andre Chase hits a striking headbutt right onto Tony D'Angelo. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo tried to get him out of his corner into the bottom right corner of the apron, saying what you're doing here, you're not supposed to be down here. This is where This is where he kicks Duke Hudson right in the midsection, hits a DDT off the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, head first. And I was like, I hope he didn't break his neck by taking the maneuver like that. Thank God he didn't at the end of the match. This is where Tony D'Angelo finally got back up in the top rope, tags him, Stacks tags himself into the match. This is where Tony D'Angelo hits a suplex right onto Andre Chase. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo went to the top rope, go to the top right corner of the top rope turnbuckle, and goes for a big diving headbutt that will make Chris Benoit proud, and then this Chris Benoit and Bryan Danielson proud, I should say, and Chad Gable as well. This is where he pins Andre Chase, but he only got a 1, he only got a 2, and then this is where Duke Hudson went for a German suplex right onto Tony D'Angelo to make the save. Duke Hudson German suplex Tony D'Angelo onto his partner Stacks Lorenzo, which was the smartest move that he could come up with. This is where Booker T was very proud of. This is where Booker T was very proud of Duke Hudson doing that, thinking of a clever maneuver to make the save into this tag team match. He was like, I love it. Like, that was a classic. Like, that was wonderfully a classic. Like, that was pure. That was pure MVP, I should say. That was pure MVP, Vic. Like, yeah, that was. And this is where all 4 men were down, but until all of them got back up. This is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo hits the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. This is where he tags in Tony D'Angelo. This is where he hits the super kick right on to the Andre Chase. This is where Tony D'Angelo got back up. This looked like they're about to hit their tag team finishing move, which was the bottom B, I believe that's what it's called, the tornado move. But luckily, once again, Duke Hudson must have been double lucky and blessed to come out of nowhere and save his tag partner from getting Buckle B, I believe that's what it's called. He speared him out of the ring. And this is where Andre Chase pins Tony D'Angelo for a 2.1 second count. This is where Thea Hale and JC Jane was checking on Duke Hudson to see he was okay, which I'm not sure if he was at first, but I was like, oh boy, like this is gonna be some kind of shenanigans. I mean, not no shenanigans like that. Like, don't tell me this is gonna be the reason why they don't win because of Duke Hudson accidentally hurting himself by saving the day. But anyways. Here's where Andre Chase hits the spin around arm swinging neck breaker like CM Punk used to do, which I believe still does that. This is where JC Jane tried to come in prepared with the crowbar, passing it to Andre Chase. Like, use it on Tony. And then he's like, I would never do that because I'm one honest man and I would never bend the rules just to win a championship. He's like, you can keep your crowbar. And this is where Booker T's like, dude, get the job done. Listen to JC Jane. She could be on to something. He's like, I'm not going to do this. Which that was probably the wisest move because regardless, that would have cost him a shot at being the NXT champion, the tag team championship. And then this is where Tony D'Angelo tried to go for a headlock. This is where Andre Chase Irish whips Tony D'Angelo. He goes down, ducks into the first run Tony D'Angelo did. Here's where he went onto the ropes. The same as JC Jane was still hanging off of onto the apron, like which which he accidentally bumped into JC James. He fell out down to the concrete floor into the left side of the ringside area. This is where, and then it looked like she nearly got into some kind of an injury, but luckily she landed in a safe way, in a little safer way than she could have fell and hurt herself into a state like that. This is where the distraction perfectly worked, because this is where Andre Chase went right from behind, put his legs between both of Tony D'Angelo's side, flip him over, hit the most amazing and devastating move in all sports entertainment. That backflip roll up, which he got the 1, 2, 3, and he got some new NXT tag team champions. And yep, I said new NXT tag team champions. They are the new tag champs in NXT. Team Chase U with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson finally winning the double black and gold and yellow straps. And they start, and all 4 members of Chase U was celebrating, with even JC James pushing the referee out of the way and raising Andre Chase's hand, saying like, "Y'all did it!" Like, yay! And what do you think about this latest title victory from the University of Chase, the team of the University of Chase in NXT? Like, and what's next for this tag team duo as the new tag team champions? Y'all let me know in the comment section right down below. But like I said, it was a shame they did that the Tony D'Angelo family didn't got into any kind of proper feud as them as champions, like when they were champions at the time. But yeah, let's move on to the next. We're move on to the next news now. As we got the hard-hitting home truths with Nathan Fraser when he was talking about his upcoming match against Dominic Mysterio, by saying he was like he won the NXT North American Championship without having any passion of being on the show, like, let alone being here like when he does not need to be. And then this is where he's like, he may not be like one of these guys that had the original start. Like, he may not have the NXT vibes when he comes to any president of WWE. He looks like he just looks like a guy that you just want to slap across his face. And he's a hard-hitting slap and a hard-hitting home truth that Dominic Mysterio doesn't need the North American Championship because every time, like, his mommy Rhea is always bailing him out. And then they showed him when he was brawling and beating the absolute hell out of the ex-condom. Like, this is where he started talking about this. This was a teapot moment, a heated teapot moment, when I was battling all around this arena in the Capitol Wrestling Center, and until your Mama Rhea comes back, come there and save the day before I can even hit my flipping 450 splash on you. And then he said, and then Nathan Freeze like, last year, and he's like last year, like, I wasn't, it wasn't no good luck for me. I took a kicking, I took some kicking, I took some bruises. What else he said? Yeah, he rolled him out of the ring like a spoiled toddler into a birthday party. And he's like, last year Halloween Havoc, I was not a good night for me. I took a kick that landed on my leg a couple of times. It nearly ended my career when I was fighting for the NXT North American Championship in the ladder match. But I came back here. I got faster, stronger, like a little bit more crazier. Like with me truly stepping up, like. He's like, I'm not gonna give up until I show you how show you to see how I truly let it go down. And then next week, night 2, Halloween Havoc, me and you, Dominic Mysterio, for the NXT North American Championship. And I was like, who's gonna win this? Hopefully it's Nathan Fraser because he could benefit a lot with this championship. Even though Dominic Mysterio just won the title back a couple of weeks ago, but he showed that he didn't even need the championship just to be the most popular and hated guy in all of WWE. But we're gonna have to see who's gonna walk out as North American champion at night 2's Halloween Havoc on Halloween night in October 31st. Keep on stay tuning until then. And we're gonna move on to and then this is where we get a backstage interview with Baron Corbin, when he was like, when he was telling Mackenzie Mitchell about the reason why he's not getting, don't have an NXT title match because he was this close of winning when he hit the end of days on Dijak, but Carmelo Hayes took advantage and stole his victory, and then he's like, because I did the damages, Melo took advantage. And also, I did everything that in my power to win in main event next week in the match. And then this is where Mackenzie Mitchell confusingly asked Baron Corbin, like, what do you mean by your power? And this is where Baron Corbin's like, it's supposed to be me and Ilya Dragunov, not Melo. And then this is where Mackenzie Mitchell was like, you said everything in your power. Does that mean that you're the one that took out Trick Williams? Which I don't think he did, but this is where he denied the claim, saying, really? You think I need to go behind his back? And if I want to take Williams out, I would do it to his face. I may not like his song, I may not like him, I may not even like his face. I don't think I even like his saying. Pull the trick. He's like for Trick Williams, he's the one that's getting his ass whooped. Don't look at he got his ass whooped, but don't look at me. It could be in Dijak. It could have been his own best friend Carmelo Hayes, or it could have been Axiom because he's getting popular very lately, and then he could put a target in his back. And it could have been that quitter Wes Lee who just left recently a month ago. I look at his best friend, but I mostly look at his best friend, Carmelo Hayes. He could be the number one subject. I was like, we're going to have to see 7 days. Who could it possibly be? Who's the mystery attacker of Trick Williams? Because Trick Williams been in most feuds with those guys, except for Carmelo Hayes, because he's his best friend. And they're not going to plan on splitting up anytime soon. And then this is where Baron Corbin also said, but I don't care, and this is not on me. So, the only thing I do care about is Ilya and that championship. If he survives next week, you better have his head on the score. And this is where Mackenzie Mitchell was skeptical of what Baron Corbin said. Okay, whatever. Even if you do get a title shot, it's going to be doubtable that you're going to actually win the NXT championship with someone like Axiom, or not Axiom. I mean Ilya Dragunov. But up next we get the lights out women's match, and at this in the next mid card match of Halloween Havoc Night 1, it was Gigi Dolan taking on Blair Davenport. But they took it to the ringside, where Gigi Dolan beating the absolute shib right out of Blair Davenport on the outside. She throws her back in the ring. This is where Blair Davenport, as soon as she got back in the ring, back on her feet, she knees Gigi Dolan right into the midsection. This is where she had her sending laying right on face first right into into the middle and bottom ropes, into the right side of the ropes, the ring ropes, I should say. Here's where she hits a large boot right onto Gigi Dolan, flipping outside the ring, like doing a front flip, single somersault. This is where Blair Davenport got out of the ring. This is where she looked under the ring into the right side of the ringside area. This is where she had like a traditional steel chair. She tried to swing it right to the head of Gigi Dolan. Gigi Dolan kicks her in the chair, kicks her in that chair that she was holding. This is where she grabs the chair that she was about to hit. She set it down, unfolding it, put it onto the ground. This is where she tried to grab onto Blair Davenport. This is where she runs her right and slam her face first right into that steel chair, like that was unfolded and standing into the right side ringside area corner, and then this is where she hits a forearm strike right onto the face of to Blair Davenport. This is where Gigi Dolan hits a boot right into the face of Blair Davenport, and she hits her face right onto the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, which that's the bad place to get hit into the face, like the worst place to get hit right across the face, more than a steel chair or Alan the announce table. Like he was doing everything that she said she was gonna do from the past weeks of hyping up this match. And shout out to Roxanne Perez and her Freddy Krueger, or custom-made Freddy Krueger outfit. Yeah, that was very awesome of her. But anyways, this is where Blair Davenport started hitting Gigi Dolan hit in their face with the symbol of the steel steps, like hitting her like repeatedly, like 5 times in a row. This is where Blair Davenport put her face right to that exact same steel steps, with her foot standing right on top of her head and stepping and squeezing her face right onto it. And this is where she nearly smashed her head right into the stem of the steel steps. But Gigi Dolan successfully and quickly got out of the way before she can even step into it, because she stopped right into the steel steps. But Gigi Dolan grabbed onto her leg, hit her with a striking forearm right into Blair Davenport's face. This is where Blair Davenport hits a super kick. I mean, not Blair Davenport. Gigi Dolan hits a super kick onto Blair Davenport. This is where she tried to grab onto to kill Blair, but she gets striked right to the midsection by Davenport. This is where Gigi Dolan put Blair Davenport right on the chair, sat her down, hitting her with a couple striking right hands right into the Davenport's face. The fans start chanting, "We want tables," like if the Dudley Boys was there. This is where Gigi Dolan goes for the meteor right off the apron, landing right onto a sit down of Blair Davenport, like right through the steel chair. And then this is where Blair Davenport starts smiling and screaming like, "Ah, that's how you do it." And I was like, at this case, like with this case, this is like a lights out, like literally lights the main lights out, and then and put in the glowing lights on. Put a few glowing lights on and around the arena, like if they're outdoors in some kind of a outdoor Halloween street fight, like some kind of magic. But it was like a more violenter match, lights out violenter match than the Roxanne Perez versus what's her name, Kiana James match in a Devil's Playground match. Because they spin the wheel last week, and that's why they're getting this match. But anyways, we're gonna But we're gonna talk about more about this match. Let's see. This is where Gigi Dolan finally listened to the fans, grabbed the chair under the ring. This is where she wedged it right between the. It looked like she was wedging right between the apron and the out on the announce table, but she had a better idea. Like she put it right in the ring, get ready to set it up, but she had a sliding swipe kick when Blair Davenport was in the ring in the snapmare position. This is where. And then this is where the fans started. This is where the fans started thanking Gigi Dolan. Say, thank you, Gigi. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you, Gigi. I was like, yeah, you can count on Gigi Dolan because she's now a fan-loving babyface. So, of course, you're going to listen to the fans, give them what they want because the fans are supporting her as somewhat of a fan-favorite babyface. And this is where she puts it right up. This is where she had put it right into the top right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where this is where Blair Davenport trips over Gigi Dolan when she tried to grab and pick up Blair Davenport. She trips Gigi Dolan over, and she gets bounced her face first right into the steel chair. This is where she tossed her, which is nearly botched, but luckily she still landed right onto the ring post in Blair Davenport's sake. Head and shoulder first, or head first, then shoulder second, I should say. This is where Blair Davenport started to disrespect the fans by taking down the table that Gigi Dolan set up, and everybody started booing the absolute rubbish out of Blair Davenport because she's the most evil the evilest witch in NXT right now in WWE's developmental territory. This is where Blair Davenport throws the table onto the ringside, but it's still going to be used anyways. But not right now. But the fans do not like that. The fans start chanting, "You suck, you suck, you suck," to the Blair Davenport because she really do suck regardless. And hopefully it's not a reference to anything inappropriate. Just saying that she's a horrible wrestler. But anyway, this is where Blair Davenport hits her swing. This is where she swinged her around with her wrist strap that she was wearing around her wrist, and they start whipping and start using it as a whipping weapon onto Gigi Dolan like if it was a whip, like a size 5 whip, like that'll give you like lashes of up to 20 lashes at once, if not 15, of course. She started continuously doing that right onto Gigi Dolan. I bet at this stage she's suffering like possibly 45 to 60 lashes from getting hit with her wrist strap, I should say. This is where Blair Davenport finally goes right under the ring again and gets another steel chair like she did earlier onto the match. This is where Blair Davenport got a steel chair, but Gigi Dolan got the whip. And then this is where Gigi Dolan try to whack her with the steel chair, but Gigi Dolan ducked. She hits her with the whip right to the midsection, like if she was Bianca Belair with her hair, like she did to Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, and Sasha Banks in her matches. This is where she whacked her right. This is where Gigi Dolan whacks Blair Davenport right into the back too, like afterwards, like making her back crack and snap. We can hear that sound. And then this is where Booker T was even saying like that does not sound good, Vic. It really doesn't. This is where Gigi Dolan hits her with a running clothesline STO maneuver, which is possibly her signature move. This is where she pins This is where she pins Blair Davenport. The referee count the 1, the referee count the 2. But Blair Davenport kicks out at 2 point, I believe 8 or 9 seconds. This is where she successfully tossed the whip right onto Blair Davenport's back, which I bet that stung like instantly, like when she slammed around on her back so hard that it hurt. Like I bet it's probably gonna hurt for a week, like until next week's Halloween Havoc, and she's gonna probably be complaining about it. But anyways, this is where. And this is where the referee, this is where the fans start chanting tables. We still want tables. We still want tables. And then this is where Gigi Dolan slam Blair Davenport's head right into the chair. She started kicking her head, started striking after striking where Blair Davenport's head around head and neck in the steel chair. And then this is where she put her back on the same chair that she was sitting on earlier when she did the Meteor. This is where she tried to go for another Meteor like she did off the apron, but like that statistic goes, like when you successfully do it the first time, you can't do it the second time. It's not gonna be a guarantee the second time unless you're really lucky. Well, it didn't seem like she was that lucky enough to do it for a second time as the charm. This is where Blair Davenport intercepted before she can even do the Meteor maneuver, slamming the chair right across her face. This is where the chair right across her face. This is where she hits the belly to back suplex maneuver. This is where she pins Gigi Dolan. She got the 1, she got the 2, but she kicks out at 2.3 seconds. Blair Davenport was like, how in the hell she kicked out of that? This is where Blair Davenport gets the tables back in. She finally listened to the fans, but in her own terms. But she didn't really listen to the fans. She just decided to do it on her own. And then Vic Joseph made jokes. I guess he didn't like that first table, so she's gonna get another one. And then this is where she gets the table up. This is where she into the ringside area. This is where she tried to go in the ring, try to hit her with the table. This is where Blair Davenport tried to go back in the ring, try to get Gigi Dolan. But before she can even